Hey, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video about this out of control statue uh, taking down of the protest movement that's happening right now. So, to me, they've gone a little too far now for me. I've definitely talked about this in another video. But Teddy Roosevelt. Now, Teddy Roosevelt was a flawed guy, right? I mean, when we talk about American colonialism, he was very problematic. But also, there was a lot of good things about him. Environmentalist, a lot of good things. So my whole problem with taking down these historical statues or trying to do these things is that it's one thing to take down Confederate monuments because they were traitors to the United States. When you're going that far into these revered presidents and historical figures, where do you draw the line? I mean, the problem with that is like, are you going to? I mean, Ronald Reagan is worshipped by many people, and he did a lot of bad shit, probably worse than Teddy Roosevelt. Central America. Are we going to rename his airport and fucking? What are we going to? What? Where does this end? That's the problem. That's my problem with this. Where does this end? And that's in some ways it's a logical fallacy, but it's not. Um, I mean, the fact of the matter is that you can't get away from how America was created unless you just destroy America or change it in such a way that it's not America. Changing the name, changing the Constitution, destroying all the monuments, uh, destroying all the historical documents, or not destroying them, but putting them somewhere else, changing them, writing a new one. So you can't get away from that because America was built on slavery in many ways. I mean, I took a class 3 or 4 years ago called American Capitalism with the University of Virginia online, and I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to take this class about how American capitalism developed, and I was shocked at how much slavery had to do with it. It's just, I mean, we were built on that. So I think it's fine to question your history, but Abraham Lincoln, I mean, these all these figures are complicated. Okay, as anybody is, as any politician is, in any time, any era, they're all complicated. I mean, other than Donald Trump or Joe Biden, who I do not like. So, um, that's pretty simple to me. I don't fucking like them. So, and especially lately, but I'll get to that in a different video. So the problem I have with this Teddy Roosevelt or Abraham Lincoln thing is like these are beloved figures. I mean, what are you going to replace them with? I mean, where are you gonna put these destroying the statues? It's just fucking ridiculous. And I'm not going to go into too much personal information, but I'll just say that there's some conflict between uh, some of the bad apples of the protest movement and some people I know as far as their family. That's unacceptable. Violence is unacceptable, and this looting of property of historical figures like Teddy Roosevelt, I mean, it's just it's just stupid. So if we really want, why don't it's symbolic. So if they really had any balls or courage, they would do what they were doing in the restaurant protests a couple of years ago, going to people's going to these Republican politicians where they were dining in the restaurant, or they were going to their house and shit. I'm not saying they should. And the fucking 911 center was firebombed. Just like, oh my god, these people are so stupid and so misguided. And I'm not saying all of them in the protest movement, but the people that I'm talking about firebombing a fucking 911 center. What if someone died because of that? What could have died? It's just stupid. So I know these people are controversial. Teddy Roosevelt's controversial. He was a progressive. I mean, he was one of the first people to actually use that word, other than like La Follette and some other people. But it's just, I don't know when it's going to end. It's gone too far. And I think a lot of the left, a lot of liberals like myself, are going to see this and be like, well, that's just going to help Trump, and people like that. It's going to help people think these people are nuts and monsters and shit. That's just the way it goes. So that's pretty much my take on that. I think any statues that they want to remove, they should put them in museums, and I don't think they should remove all these historical monuments and all this stuff. I mean, it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, because if you're not going to have an actual revolution, why do all these symbolic things and be a half-ass fucking loser, and hurt people's businesses and shit? Who the fuck do you think you are? You're fucking Vladimir Lenin. I mean, it's stupid. Anyways, that's all I got to say.